part of like hurting people would be to put out misinformation. And of course, people make mistakes. Now, if you're at a higher level of journalism, you're not supposed to make that many mistakes, but you're supposed to double check everything. But maybe they didn't think the flyover was that important in the world of things, and they just sort of hurried up and typed it up because it was on a press release. It said 10, but there were 11, and I counted like 5 times, like that's 11 airplanes. Last time I checked, unless we have someone doing incorrect math for their own benefit, for their own number system. But see how it can get someone a little bit upset or angry, because if you keep getting news, even weather, that's completely off, or it's like, oh, for instance, how many people died in the plane crash in Sao Paulo, Brazil? 62 or 61, 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 62 or 61. We have different stations with different things. You'll have stations that'll pronounce things differently, like certain names of towns or countries even. So they do it all the time, and you're like, well, which is it? Like, is there a correct way, or we're just a preference way? Now, when it comes down to counting dead bodies, it should be a correct count. Not that the whole public has to be in the know, but it would be nice to have a correct for history's sake and documentation. But I've seen both still, even this many days later. 62 and 61 have been reported. Also, the house explosion in Maryland, Bel Air. We have, at first they reported one BGE, Baltimore Gas and Electric worker dead, but then other stations had a report of the actual house owner, a guy wheelchair bound, also died. He was about to put his house up for sale. His wife had already died more recently, and so the guy who owned the house and a BG&E employee died. So that's 2, not 1, but you'll still see 1 or 2, 1 or 2, 1 or 2. Construction going on here at the train station. So this is 30th Street Station. Here, or Penn, I think no, the Penn Station there. Anyway, here on the west side of the Schuylkill River. Technically it's still considered Center City, PA, even though it's not right in central downtown, like with the buildings and high rises. But this is what it looks like. You know, old train station. I don't know the whole history. But here it is. They have a lot of scaffolding. They have 2 bathrooms, public bathrooms, at least on the first floor. One would be off to the left. That would be the typical main bathroom that they have open for the most part, except for between midnight and 5 a.m. You have to go over here in the food court, although the food court is closed. Work in progress. Can you not get over there at all? Wow, that's a big deal. They cut off the food court for some reason. Maybe they're preparing for a war or, you know, major protests. That's a big deal. So I guess the other bathrooms will have to be open 24 hours. But there used to be bathrooms over there from midnight to 5. And of course, in the dead of winter, freezing cold weather, Philadelphia has a very serious homeless problem. Some of those people are on drugs, some are just very disadvantaged compared to everybody else. And I mean, people who are wailing and crying, freezing cold weather, in the bathroom stalls with, you know, all their belongings in a grocery cart. Wow, America's really nice to people. We have to go over here.
Please be advised that checked baggage is available for your train. It is recommended.
So I've worked in various capacities, you know, in hopes of helping in some way, but I experienced my own situation where I was gang stalked to death. Beginning in 2011, I was made to believe I'd be murdered. Wow, they are trying to corral people, I think. You have to do all this to get out. It's like barricaded for a war or whatever. That's what someone would say. Anyway, I was harassed so badly. Luckily, there are very few, but a small handful of people who know exactly what happened, and they will keep me going until I'm where I'm supposed to be, in a $5 million house with a big middle finger sticking up to all those people who participated. And I hope they wind up homeless someday with no one to help, because that, you know, people don't realize that they're the problem. I won't be able to help you. Cousins in Florida, step family. See you, wouldn't want to be ya. If you ever need help someday, I won't be there for you. Thanks. Gang stalking couple, because if they think you're gay, you can't tell with me, I look totally straight because my hair is really long, but they would do that on purpose if they thought you were single, or what have you. Also, no world order, so if you're in a racial marriage, they'll do it on purpose to rub it in. And you're like, I don't fucking care, marry whoever you want to marry. Who do you think you're influencing, or, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you're preaching to the choir here. So they would do that on purpose, and they would purposely wait for people. And would you want to be married to someone like that? Would you want to live your life in an agenda like that? Or do you want to live an authentic life? Does your husband or wife truly love you? Or is it just about an agenda? And will they steal your money, whoever dies first? Oh well. Oh well. What if everybody said that all the time? Oh well. Also, just here to say, there are people out there and they think they won the big ticket, they got a husband, it makes them feel really good. Those people have a special mojo program, and they might be using your ass, no offense. Because it's easy for people with certain types of mojo to handle their wives and puppet them, dare I say the word. So there are men out there who are so controlling, they want you to be exactly who they want you to be. And they will go to the, you know, they will go to mail order bride to get it. Does that make you happy? But I guess I totally understand the point of view of, like, if you desperately need a house, or if you come from a poor place where poverty is the mainstream, and you're like, oh, this guy's willing to marry me and I get to live in a house. Okay, I mean, if that's your priority, but you still have to put up with that guy, you know. And wow, a lifetime is a long time. Put up with a controlling asshole. Where'd that mojo come from? And it doesn't last a lifetime all the time. Depends on how long the military lets you have it. That is funny. That's funny. Could be. A guy could have mojo, you know, for 5 years and all of a sudden it's gone. And then you're just like a housewife slave. Chopping vegetables and valuing myself. Chopping vegetables and valuing myself. Chopping vegetables and valuing myself. You can look up that song. It's Bitch and Animal, Feminist Housewives. That's old. That's like the third wave of feminism. So they came in around the 90s or early 2000s.